what is travel nursing?
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!
Excuse me? Don't talk to me. Figure it out. Once you're done, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Phaedra. As you can tell by the title of this video, we'll be touching base on travel nursing. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to hit the key points regarding travel nursing. The purpose of this video is to share some light on travel nursing, whether you were thinking about travel nursing or you're in nursing school and you're wondering about travel nursing, how to get started, what to look out for, just in general. First and foremost, what credentials do I have to talk about this topic? So I've been a nurse for about almost a decade now, maybe 8-9 years. I was an LPN, then I did the bridge program, the ADN program, and got my RN license. I've worked at ALF assisted living facilities. I did nursing homes for a couple months. I did trauma ICU. I've done some local contracts. Some were 30 minutes from home, some were 5 minutes from home, and I've also done some out-of-state travel contract. So all in all, I say all this to say I've had a little bit of knowledge and experience in the field to talk about it. I do have a disclaimer. Whatever I talk about is my experience. So someone you know or maybe yourself may have a different experience or a different view, but all that I will be talking about is either factual or my experience. And the factual are pretty much the things that you need before even considering travel nursing. Take from this video what you need to take and leave what you need to leave. Okay, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to be hitting the key points. If I miss anything, I will put it down in the description box. But to get started, what is travel nursing? Travel nursing is a nurse that travels for work. Why do nurses travel? It could be for the rate, because we all know staff rates are not it. If you need to stick it out for the experience, which we'll get into, then great. But staff compared to traveling rates are very, very different. The fact that they love moving from state to state or meeting new people. After 2 to 3 months of being in a hospital, they like to move around. It all depends. Most travel contracts are between 8 to 13 weeks. From what I've seen more of the 13 weeks, and I've done 13-week contracts. Both of my travel contracts were 13 weeks contract. I would say those were pretty much the pros about travel nursing. The cons about travel nursing could be lack of job security, trouble finding houses once you get to your contract. It could be homesickness, loneliness. It could be anything really, but I would say those are some cons about travel nursing. Things you need before even considering travel nursing. One of them is you need to obviously make sure that you attended an accredited nursing school. You sit for the board, pass your NCLEX. Once you've obtained your license, get into some type of specialty that you would like to get into and get your 2 years of experience minimum. Please do not get straight out of nursing school or a year of experience and then think you're ready for travel nursing. And I will tell you why later on in this video, because it is so unsafe. It is scary. Okay, you are taking care of someone's dad, someone's mother, someone's sister, grandparents. Like, it is serious. Okay, it is very, very, very serious. So you need to keep that in mind. So make sure you get at least minimum 2 years of experience before you consider travel nursing. So once you've had your 2 years or more of experience and you're still wanting to travel, you need to keep in mind that some state you will need to obtain an additional licensure. There's compact state, and then there's states that you actually need an additional licensure. States like New York, California, and so many other states that you need to actually apply for a license there, and that's a whole nother video within itself. Some recruiters will send you information on how to do that, but that's a whole nother ordeal. You have to apply for the license, pay, and so on and so forth, send your transcripts in. It's a whole process, but a compact license is usually easier. So when you're looking for a contract, you may want to tell your recruiter that you only have a compact license, so they know what states and rates to send you. Once you've decided what state you want to travel and the rates you're looking for, be adamant. Be very, very, very adamant. Tell your recruiter, this is the state I'm wanting to work, or this is the rate that I am not negotiating on. It needs to be above this or no lower than this. Once you make it very clear where you want your rates to be, it will be so much easier for the both of you. Those recruiters, they're getting paid. They'll put you, if you say yes to a low rate assignments, they'll be happy to put you in there because they're still getting paid. Okay, so you have to be very stern, very adamant, know what you want, and tell them what you want, and that you're not negotiating certain things. Okay, obviously the rates are not like they were during COVID, but sometimes there are strikes. There are things known as strikes. Sometimes there's you know, pretty decent rate that you can work that will be very, very beneficial. All that plays a part in it. You just need to communicate with your recruiter. Before you even get a recruiter, I forgot to mention, you need to know what agency you want to work with. There's so many agencies out there. There's Staff DNA, there's ProLink, there's so many agencies out there. Just look for an agency that you want to work with, then get a recruiter from that agency. So once your recruiter starts sending you rates and states that you are qualified to work in, there's more. Okay, there's more. There's so much more. Make sure you have somewhere to stay, or make sure finding a housing there won't be difficult. Just do your research. Please do your research on where you're going to stay, and that's something that I've learned throughout my 2 travel contracts. You need to do your research on where you're going to stay. If you have someone there in that state, just say, hey, do you know where so-and-so state is? What have you heard about it? Is it safe? Like, just make sure, especially if you're not going with a friend, I would highly suggest to get an assignment with a friend, because an assignment by yourself, it just creates a lot more expenses. But if you go with a friend, you can split everything, housing, groceries, like everything you split. It'll be beneficial to both of you guys. But anyways, the unit manager where you'll be working will call you and have, I would say, an interview, but it's really them telling you about the unit, what to expect. If they say their ratio is 4-to-1, just add 2 more patients to that, because just expect the worst. Okay, it's better if you expect the worst and it exceeds your expectation. That's better than thinking you're going to have 4 patients and you end up with 5, 6. Okay, because at the end of the day, you have to think about it. You're traveling. They're already established, they're staff nurses, and you are the underdog. You are there to help them. Don't expect any special treatment. Some of these unit managers would like for you to have 2, 3, maybe 4 years of experience within that specialty. That you make sure your resume look good, everything looks good, and then yes, then you'll get like the phone call. And within that phone call, they'll ask you some questions. They'll ask you if you have any questions for them. Please find something to ask. Ask how often do you guys have CNAs on the floor? Find something to ask them. At the end of the day, they're interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. After that interview, a lot of files will be sent to you via eDoc. So your contract will be sent to you via eDoc. So once you get your contract, make sure you read your contract thoroughly. Okay, make sure your start date is really your start date. Your end date is really your end date. Make sure it has overtime on there, how much more money you get overtime. Obviously you get weekly pay, make sure that's on there. Your rate, make sure your rate is accurate. They will also ask you, are there any days that you would want off within your 13 or 8 weeks assignment? For me and my friend, we had a trip to go to, our friend's trip to Colombia. So we told them this is the week that we will need off. So that was also within our contract. Before you even sign the contract, make sure everything is in there. Once all of that is in there, your contract looks good and you're ready to sign your contract, you sign your contract and you send it back via eDoc. That's that. But wait, there's more. You just signed a contract, okay? That's when the real work begins. You're gonna need to make sure all your ducks are in a row. If it's your first time traveling, times all that work times 2, okay? But if it's your second time traveling with that same specific agency, you should be good in everything that you're gonna be sending in or things that are expired, if you get what I'm saying. So if it's your first time traveling, get your C19 vaccination card ready, your ID ready, your ACLS, BLS, your stroke certification, your immunization form. They're gonna send you to have a physical done at to a clinic close to where you live. Then they're gonna have you go to another clinic for you to get drug tested, or it could be the same clinic. It's a lot that goes into it. Once you get all that done, you send all your information to your recruiter. Your recruiter sets up your profile, your drug test and your physical. All of that will be sent to your recruiter. You don't need to send that. Of course, background check, chest x-ray. Oh my god, I have the quantiferum, so my TB test always comes back positive. So you may need to have a chest x-ray done. Just make sure you have at least a week to get all of these things done. Then once you've submitted all of that immunization, your documents, you sent that to your recruiter, she's setting up your profile, you're gonna get to work, okay? You're gonna have at least take 2 to 3 days depending on how fast you work for modules, okay? You will be getting safety modules. You'll be they'll be giving you tests to take. Almost all of the modules have tests within themselves. They'll have a competency test. They'll have tests left and right. Take 2 to 3 days to do the modules and to make sure you pass the test that they will be giving you to complete. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some things. When I'm editing the video, I'll see if I miss anything. I'll add it somewhere on the screen. Once you're done with your modules, you should be all set. You will have someone texting you. You will have someone that's keeping you up to par as to what you need to send and what you need to get done by what date. Your modules need to be done by this date. Like, you will have some type of guidance as to you will have some type of guidance. They don't just let you figure it out yourself. You will have a lot of help. That's one thing I can say. Once you sign a contract, they will help you as to what you need to send in and all of that. Once you're done, your recruiter usually tells you, congratulations, you're in the clear to start your assignment. Mentally prepare yourself. Start saying goodbye to your friends, your family. Start packing. Pack light. If you're not going to a big city, I would say to go ahead and pack very lightly. Just bring all your scrubs, okay? Bring all your scrubs. For me, I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, but I just came back from upstate New York from a 13-week assignment. Had to get coat, scarf, gloves. I had to, and those things are big. So I had to start packing and figuring things out. The preparation is a lot that goes into it. If there's something that you want to focus on while you're over there, bring that with you, because you're going to be there for 13 weeks. You want to bring a couple outfits for when you're exploring the city. Once it's time for you to go to your assignment, you head to your assignment. Obviously, you're going to need to figure out where you're going to stay. Some people I know they get a hotel for like 1 or 2 days and then try to figure out where they're gonna spend a month. And one thing I want to mention is if you're renting out a place, rent it per month. Okay, rent it per month, or at least tell them, hey, I'm gonna be on this assignment for 3 months, but I'm only gonna rent for a month in case they cancel me. And that's a huge thing, because my very first assignment, that's another video within itself, I did get canceled. My assignment was with my friend for Indianapolis, and they canceled me a day or two before I was supposed to start. She was fine. She ended up starting, finishing, and I had invested too much on that assignment, buying scrubs, because the color of the scrubs they required, I did not have that color. So I had to purchase scrubs. We paid the first month's rent, we did groceries, we were ready to go, and they canceled me. So that's another thing to look out for. I ended up talking to my recruiter, letting her know, like, I can't go back home. I invested way too much on this assignment. I can't go back home. So she said the next best thing to do was to find another one close by. Thank God I had my car with me, so I had to leave my friend and drive 4 hours away to Ohio. So that's how I ended up in Ohio by myself. I left her by herself when initially our assignment was supposed to be together. So just be aware that they can cancel your assignment the minute you get there. So that's why some people are really smart. They stay at a hotel for like the first week, and then once they see that they're established there, they're going to get rent a place for a month. In a month, if you're still working at that hospital, go ahead and rent it for the second month, the third month. Just talk to whoever you're renting from. Just talk to them. Some people do rent out their space to travel nurses, so they know how it works. Once you get to your assignment, let's say everything's going well and you are set, you're ready for work. One day before you start work, they'll send you a list of information. They'll send you, this is where we're meeting, this is what time orientation start, be there at this time, this is where you park, we'll be offering lunch or bring your own lunch. They'll talk to you and communicate with you via email about all these things. So once you get to your first day of orientation, every hospital is different, and this is why I made the disclaimer in the beginning of the video. Some hospital, my first assignment, they gave me a week of it was like 3 days of orientation. When I say orientation, not training on the unit. Orientation, they talk about protocol, central line dressing, Foley, protocols, period. It's strictly protocol. Spent 3 days talking about protocols, doing modules, all of that. So this assignment that I recently finished, I had literally 4 hours. We had literally 4 hours of orientation. They set us up with Vocera, which is a little phone to communicate and call whoever you want to call in the hospital. So 4 hours of orientation. Then they sent us, was it 8? I think it was 4 to 8 hours of orientation, and then they sent us up to the unit, sign into a computer, make sure we're able to sign in, because the next time you're in this hospital, you're working by yourself. You're not getting any training. And this is why I say you need to have at least 2 to 3 years of experience to start traveling. I remember my first assignment, they did orientation for 3 days, but the 4th day I was on the unit. I was supposed to follow someone for 1 day, for 1 night, and they were like, we're so understaffed that you're gonna have to start taking patients. Excuse me? Mind you, this was my very first assignment in Ohio. So I was like, you know what? I'm thinking this is what I signed up for. Let me keep a positive attitude. My first night, they were like, we're so sorry. You were supposed to shadow someone tonight, but unfortunately, you know, they put you as, you know, you're gonna get patients. So I was like, okay. They're like, if you have any questions, let us know. This is where the crash cart is. This is where the Pyxis is. This is where the bathrooms are. This, that. And of course, everything like went over my head because it's my first time on the unit. So So obviously they told me which patients I will be caring for my shift, and I just pretty much got to work. So imagine a new nurse or a nurse that's, you know, is only experienced for 1 year. That would be traumatizing. Okay, so that's why I mentioned you need to be experienced, you need to be reliable. You also need to learn how to figure things out yourself. These staff nurses, they'll tell you, you know, ask me for help, you know, ask me for help if you need anything. Don't hesitate to ask me. But if you can try and figure it out yourself, do so. If not, go ahead and ask for help, because at the end of the day, they got their own patients to care for. They can't stop what they're doing every 5 minutes to help you. So be smart, figure it out, especially with the fact that you're traveling. They know you're not getting paid the same as them, so they already, some of them already feel some type of way. And another thing, you have no friends on these travel assignments. Just go to work, do your job, and yeah, go home. Obviously you don't want to talk about your pay to these staff nurses. You don't want to even, if it's not about work, don't talk to me. If it's not you showing me how to get this done, if it's not you showing me this, that, and the third, don't talk to me. Okay, we did not extend for obvious reasons, because it was upstate New York. It was the coldest winter. It was snowing pretty much every day. It was very depressing down there. It was 4 hours from New York City.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!
We were ready to leave. So after the 13 weeks, they asked us if we wanted to extend. We said no. I don't like to extend, period. And she doesn't either. She likes to experience different hospitals. So we just knew we weren't gonna stay the minute we got, the first day we got there, we knew we weren't going to extend. And it's transitioning from like spring to summer. The price of living would have been, it wouldn't make any sense to stay there, because it's very high. Where we were staying at, they're known for baseball season, and that's where all the famous baseball players go to. So the price of living would have been very, 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 very high. So it wouldn't even be smart to stay. And that's another thing I want to mention. Before you pick out a contract, just make sure the rate that you're looking for makes sense, because you have to think about it. The math has to be mathed in, because at the end of the day, you have to sit down and budget. Even before you pick out that contract, you have to sit down and budget. Sit down and budget. You're paying rent or mortgage where you live, then you'll be paying rent wherever you're going on your travel assignment. You'll be getting groceries, you'll be filling up your tank, it's kind of like your expenses are like shared in two places. And that's why I say it's better to go with a friend. And obviously your water bill, your light bill is not going to be as high as if you were staying at home, but you still have to pay rent or your mortgage. So even though you're paying rent where you originally reside, and you're paying rent where you will be staying at for 13 weeks. So you have to make sure, after paying rent here and paying rent there where you're staying at for 13 weeks, make sure you still have a whole lot of money left. And it makes sense, okay? Because it makes no sense for you to go on an assignment and you're paying rent or mortgage at home, and then you're paying rent wherever you're working at, and you have no money left over. You get a stipend. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. You get paid weekly. Whether it's 3K, 4K, you get paid weekly, okay? And a whole lot of that is your stipend. Your stipend is not taxable. That is what they give you for housing, for meals. That's one of the big pros about travel nursing, that weekly pay, that stipend. I would say for me, having the experiences that I've had with travel nursing, I would say just show me how to work the software. Some hospitals use Epic, some hospitals use Cerner, Meditech. So just make sure during that interview with your with the unit manager, that's one question you can ask them. What type of software do you guys use? You guys use Epic? And usually they'll tell you that. We use Epic, we use Meditech. Just make sure you ask that, or you know prior to going there what software they use. Well, not, is it software? I don't know, but yeah, what software they use. If it's Epic, Meditech, Cerner, whatever, try to be knowledgeable about that. I know with my Ohio contract they use Meditech, which I've worked, you know, Meditech since I was an RN. I've been using Meditech, but the catch is the Meditech that they use is more updated. I hope that makes sense. So they have different versions of Meditech. Another thing you can ask about is overtime. How much more do you get working overtime? Do you guys offer overtime? And lucky for me, where I've worked, both travel contract that I've worked, I was getting overtime, okay? Because there was the state or the city I was in, there wasn't really much to do, so I was working. I was working, especially the last month of my travel assignment. I usually go hard. I would work 4 to 5 days a week. The first month I would, you know, get the jigs of things and try to, you know, figure things out, how things work, and try to get familiar with the system. The second, third month, I'm picking up overtime. I'm working 4 to 5 days a week. I remember my first assignment, I did 6 days for a whole month. This assignment, I did 4 to 5 days. From the second to third month, I did 4 to 5 days a week. Sometimes your overtime will be 800, 900 for that overtime. So it all depends on your contract. Read your contract. Make sure your recruiter is getting you the best deals. So throughout your stay, during your assignment, try to explore the city. No matter how boring the city is, try to explore it. Me and my friend, both of our birthdays are in March, and we ended up spending our birthday in New York. I have never and will never work on my birthday. Babe did fly to upstate New York. We drove 4 hours to the city and ended up exploring the city and having fun in New York City. For my friend's birthday, we went out to a restaurant that was about an hour and a half away from where we were staying at. So she spent her birthday, went out to dinner and all of that. But I can't believe I did spend my 30th birthday upstate New York on an assignment. I always thought my 30th birthday was gonna be this big thing, and it was gonna be different, you know. And if you know me, you know that my birthday is big. I'm either in a different country, on vacation, so my 31st birthday is going to be something different. In conclusion, just make sure you follow the steps that I mentioned in the video. If you're in nursing school or you've graduated and you need to pass your NCLEX, keep going. You got this. Pick a specialty that you want. Don't let nobody tell you that you have to start in med-surg. As for me, I did 2 years of trauma ICU. I was in the residency program. I did my 2 years, served my time, and then I went traveling, okay? Find something that you like. Find a specialty that you like so you're not miserable going to work. As for me, I think I'm ready to head back to ICU. I miss the ICU. I'm ready to pick up some shift and start back working. My assignment in Ohio, which was a couple years ago, it was a PCU floor. This assignment was for med tele, so I really haven't had any ICU travel experience, only because the rate. From my experience, for some reason the rates that my recruiters are finding, med tele and PCU are higher. I've seen higher rates for PCU and med tele than ICU lately. So yeah, but anyways, if I miss anything, if you have any question, just make sure you comment down below. And I think that is the end of today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far. Hopefully this video was not too long, and I'll see you on my next one.
Not asking for too much. Here's to